Hi everyone, welcome back and thanks for joining. In the last video, my A7 pocket setup, I talked a little bit about budgeting and finance and how I track that. I also mentioned this planner in my 2022 lineup. I'll try and link both of them to this video. So it's easy to reference. I also, in my A7 pocket setup, talked about an Excel sheet that I use as part of my budgeting system or finance tracking. I will link that in the video. It is currently uploaded to my Etsy shop, the Petunia Rose. So we'll get into a little bit of that. I'll go over this planner and then we'll cut to that spreadsheet and I'll show how I use it, and if you want to use it, it's on Etsy, just waiting for you to download it. So we'll get started. Now, I did cover a bit of this, probably more than I anticipated, in the planner flip through, and but we'll go over into a little bit more detail here. So this cover, where it says finances, I do love it. It matches the planner cover from Filofax. This is an A5 size. This is from the Sparkly Peach Co., but she is out of business, unfortunately. So I made this as my first dashboard, where I put a backdrop both in cloth and paper. Just keep moving forward. To me, a lot of the quotes that you'll see in here are just, hunker down, do your budget, and stick your nose to the grindstone and keep moving forward. So you'll see probably a lot of those quotes in here that just personally motivate me, especially revolving around perseverance. So this is part of the goals bundle or 5-year plan, the 5-year plan from Cloth and Paper. I put the 3 other 5-year plans in my goals planner. So that was wellness, personal, career, and then finance. So I did cover some of it, but why not? I'll be a little vulnerable here. But it's the 5-year plan. So in 5 years, I want my husband and I to be completely out of debt. We are both on the same page when it comes to finances, which we're very, very grateful for. Neither of us are spenders. We don't just spend. We're way more likely to not spend than we are to spend money. So very thankful for that, but we do have some student loans to pay off. So we want to be out of debt and we want to save for a down payment on our home. One of the milestones in here, when we get into the milestones, you'll see that we did put a down payment on land. So we are very, very excited about that. That was a huge milestone to be able to buy land this year. Couldn't be happier with the location. So now, once the cost of all of the things go down, we can start to build a home, our forever home. So the ways in which, so that's a 5-year plan, but how do we do that? What's the strategy? What are some resources? My husband has read a lot of books. I've listened, or audible books. I've listened to some as well. I've done a lot of reading. In general, podcasts, just research in general. So that was a goal for this past year and we achieved it. So we know so much more than we did going into 2021. Personal audit. So what skills have allowed you to reach these goals? Just going through financial hardships, living on less. I was following the Dave Ramsey snowball for a very long time, paid off a lot of debt. But when the pandemic hit, I had $1,000 in my savings because that was the recommendation. And at the time, I lost the best job opportunity I had. They told me I would be okay because I was getting nervous when the pandemic was ramping up. They told me I'd be fine. The day before I was supposed to start, they called me at 4 p.m. and told me they pulled the offer. So I didn't have a job for 3 months. And then I was denied unemployment because they told me I quit, but I didn't quit. I remember I sent like a pound of evidence in paper to Raleigh and let them know, like, hey, this is not my choice. I did not quit in the middle of a pandemic. I had signed a contract, but that was basically null and void. Anyway, having $1,000 makes me nervous. So just switching it up a little bit for how we're progressing into 2022. Some yearly goals: save as much as possible, get estimates, and know how to budget and track. So we're going to get into that. I did a lot of that this year, and I revised my Excel tracker that I use for budgeting and finances, and I made a version that all of you can use as well. Again, that's on Etsy, and I'll link it. The track the budget and spending, we'll get more into that. Now, my goals: skincare, hair care, Black Friday sales. I mentioned that in the IA7 Pocket, was that I try to track what I use in a year so that I can buy it during Black Friday sales and save money. So my husband and I had a talk the day after we got married and we came home. We didn't go on a honeymoon because it was COVID. So we came home and set up a joint Excel tracker with like all of our debt, all of our bills, and combined a plan and like projections for how we're going to get out of debt, how we're going to save to build our home, etc. So the way we look at it, so the way I talk about finances, you may or may not agree, but we both look at it like our money is our money and our debt is our debt. So we're attacking it as a team. It is not me versus him versus me. It's not like that. So we're working together and built a debt snowball. But we did talk about how, you know, he will buy gym equipment and equipment like that when he comes across a good deal, because, you know, it's good for the gym, it's good for our health. The two of us, we both rely heavily on the gym and fitness and exercise for our mental health and well-being. I also personally really like skincare and hair care. I've liked skincare since before I could drive, because I remember begging my mom to take me to Sephora when I was younger. It hasn't changed. I wanted to be an esthetician, but was not allowed to go to school to be an esthetician, so I just kind of closeted, obsessed with skincare and hair care. So we talked about the fact that you know, a dollar now invested in skincare and hair care that'll help prevent and correct is worth way more than trying to, you know, wait 5 years and then correct everything. So I have a really good skincare routine, hair care. I've invested into so many sunscreen products. Can't even tell you. But again, maybe that I keep somehow it comes up in like every video I do. But we'll talk about maybe some of those routines in the future, but I'll go ahead and move on. So the weekly goals, I track a lot in the Excel tracker that you'll see, and then I catch up weekly and put it on paper. I like having paper. It helps me be able to like archive it and compare it month over month. It's easier. It's a little more relaxing. Like Excel feels very formal, and it works really well where you sit down and you run through it and you crunch all the numbers, and you can do pivot tables, and depending on how familiar you are with Excel, but you can do a lot of data analysis in the Excel file itself. But sometimes I just want to grab my planner and a pen and sit on my phone and go through my like statements and other bills and just track it on paper while I'm like watching a movie or something. So it's a little bit more relaxing, and it's, you know, it's actually fun for me, and it really helped build a system that worked. Daily goals: restrain from spending 90% of the time. I mean, I don't know, be a little realistic. Have faith. I just have to have faith every day that, you know, everything is going to be what it's going to be, and at the end of the day I'll be okay, because I learned that after losing my job. I now have a job I love very, very, very much, and I'm very thankful, which leads me to practice gratitude. I just want to be grateful for everything that I'm able to do, what we're able to do, and not take anything for granted. It also comes with a vision board. How much fun is this? So a vision board, this is just like some of the house details that we want when we're, or would like to have when we're building a home. They may be a dream, but why not dream? So I just love, like, I love this style. I showed him this vision board. He goes, oh yeah, 100%, totally agree with you. Like, that would be an amazing office, little nook. Look at this closet. Come on, look at that house. This is a walk-in shower. I think that's the coolest thing. I'm so sick of shower curtains. And my husband is quite large. He can hardly fit into our shower now. So we're probably gonna have something like this. But anyway, so that's fun. It helps keep me motivated. I just made this like a couple of days ago. It was fun to do on like holiday break and just kind of daydream. So that's that. This is also Milestones. This was this year, so I've used up how many of these sections just for 2021. I said we put a down payment on land, and that was super, super exciting. So that was one of the milestones. It started in February with the first milestone and tracked all the way up until last week, and very grateful for what we were able to do. But look at how many milestones are left. I mean, to think forward in 3 years to see, or 4 years from now to see how many more milestones are going to be hit. That's just so exciting. And then you have this forever. If you're like me and you like archiving things. This is a wish list. I really don't have anything in it now. I said in an earlier video that I don't tend to make like wish lists of things I want to buy. I don't know, like I used to, but not so much anymore. I just really want to save. The wish list turns out to be like, what do I need to buy on Black Friday? or what do I want to buy on Black Friday? But right now I'm not really pining for anything. I did all my Black Friday shopping. I got a lot of my skincare products for the year, and I'm very excited about it. Saved a lot of money because I would have bought it anyway. Purchase tracker, expense log. You'll see how I use these in a bit. Now, I showed this from Planner Press earlier. I love this quote. So, I mean, I don't know. I think this probably resonates with a lot of people, a lot of women. I feel like I have been through hell. I know I've been through hell. There were times when I had lost my job and I was living in an apartment with zero furniture, an air mattress, no TV. It was just a box. And I was living on an air mattress, and I had my phone, a rocking chair that was like fold out on my little patio, and an air mattress, and that was what I had. Plus my clothes. And so I, didn't have a job. I was a teacher for 9 years. I left that in pursuit of some other things so I can use my skills in other ways. I tried sales, wasn't really for me. And, got into project program management, etc., and moved on. But there were months I couldn't buy food. And I had to get really creative. And, I didn't really have family that was able to just say, here's $1,000 or here's $100, just pay me back when you get it. Like, I didn't have that. It was only me. And I did it all myself. So I'm really proud of where I am now, but I know there's a lot of growth I want to have. But that phrase to me just keeps me going. 2022 year at a glance. I haven't decided how I want to use this yet. It might be, we talked earlier in my pocket where we track like want versus need. Maybe it's all the wants that I purchased instead of needs, or just general bill pay or milestones. We'll see in the future when I do a flip through what it turned out to be. But these, if I haven't said it, these are from Cloth and Paper, which you can probably see. So I did block a lot of this out. I talked about it in my flip through. But what I did for this year, and you'll see it in the Excel tracker too, but I went through all of my statements for my cards. Now, I mentioned also that I treat my cards as if it was cash. So I usually don't keep a balance. I tend to keep a balance on like Care Credit because it's 0 interest. It just helps to make budgeting a little easier. But everything else I pay off as soon as I put money on it because I don't want to pay interest. So it's included in my budget, and again, I'll show you that in the Excel sheet. But I went through each month to see what I spent each month for each of these, and you know, those are just card numbers. And then I tallied it up, and that helped me set my projected budget for the new year. Again, I'll show you that, but it really helped. It kind of opened my eyes to what I was spending. I had an idea because I do track like every single thing I spend, but it was really nice to see it on paper. I don't know. If you're watching this, you're like me, you love paper. So let's move on. So what I did, this was just showing a little bit of this. These sticky notes are from Jane's Agenda. Jane's amazing. She's super awesome. If you haven't purchased from Jane's Agenda, I recommend it. So I did talk about stress-related hair loss. I bought Vegamore to help with that. I was super skeptical, but I love it. It really, really prevented shedding a lot. It helped grow my lashes. Folks, one time I used my eyelash curler and the pad fell out and I chopped off all my eyelashes, and I heard the crunch in the car, and then I had no lashes, and it was like, oh my God. So then I got lash extensions, and then I was like, you know what, this takes up, it was expensive, and it just takes up so much time out of the day to go sit there and have, you know, them put your lashes on. I love it, they're beautiful. But I also do Lashify now, and which reminds me, since this is all about saving money, I will put my referral code for Lashify in my in the post so that you can save 25% on a control kit. I kid you not. You'll see a couple posts on the Petunia Rose and Instagram. The lashes I have on are Lashify, and they look like they're extensions, but I digress. Vegamore is amazing for shedding. It really did work for me. So I just took, what did I spend, what's projected for the year, like where can I cut and save. So if I spent $1,400, maybe I can cut it in half and try and spend $700. If I spent this, maybe I can spend only $2,000. You know, if I spent, for example, on clothing, now my shape changed a lot, and I changed careers. So I did invest in really, really good staple pieces that now fit my body so much better. And a capsule wardrobe is my goal for like the next 5 years. So this was a little on the high end. You know, I'm trying to cut that in half for the new year, but I spent that much money on clothes this year. But you know, it was within my budget, so I made a budget. This is also the way I tracked it. I told you I tracked every single thing. I'll try and get through this pretty quickly. But I took my mild liners, these highlighters. You've probably seen these before, but I love them. I think they're totally worth the hype, but I took about 5 of them, and I went through all of my payments, and this isn't highlighted, like where I spent the money, but the amount was highlighted. And then it helped me really be able to tally up. These numbers were the months in which month did I spend it. So you probably got a glimpse there too. Like for example, Afterpay and Lululemon were 2 purchases in December, and you know, that was like a clothing. So you know, I just categorize it, and then it helps, you know, throughout the planner, so I know what the category is. So same here. I did it for a lot. I did it for a lot of things. Planning supplies is yellow. So you can see just the tail end of what I spent in December on planning supplies. And then my Black Friday Afterpay, I wrote that down separately so I know how much I spent on Black Friday, and I can compare it to next year. So really a lot of work went into this, and because I did that, again, it really helped me kind of craft my Excel tracker a little bit more customizable. That I hope helps. These tabs are from Cloth and Paper. Inbox, outbox. I have inbox as you know, upcoming bills, bills coming in was where my mind was with this. But so for example, on my Care credit card for January, I'm gonna get a Halo BBL treatment, and that's budgeted for. So that really, Halo BBL is really, really good for scarring or discoloration on your skin, on your face. That's a big ticket item, but I'm very excited about it. I actually got a discount on Cyber Monday, so I booked it on Cyber Monday, and it's included in my budget for the year. And then just some other things. So each of these budget monthlies, I don't think that Cloth and Paper, I don't know, maybe that's how they intended this, but they did this by month and then by card, because it says month up here. But I thought, you know what, the way it just makes more sense to me, the way I'm setting my budget up, is that I'm gonna put the card here, and then the months here, so I can see how much I'm spending. And then I can do total budget, because I calculated it based on these pages and that project, and what did I actually spend and what's the difference. Pretty cool. So that's how I'm using these sheets. I don't know if she's still selling them. They may be in like the sale or closeout, what I forget what she calls it online, but she may have an updated version. So that's how I use these. I just use it for, I take, instead of month, I do by card. And then my out box is money paid out to debt, like debt only. So I have like our land payment, our student loans, stuff like that. I forget where I got this. I want to say Planner Press, but I don't exactly remember. And then every month will look the same. So every month is the same, where I have the monthly layout. I'll put our goals for that month, important dates, what's coming up. Is it going to be a yearly expense? Is it a trip we need to plan for and budget for? What are the bills due? And then I've put all these little tabs in here. Maybe it'll help you. But I put like, when do I get paid in that month, and when are certain bills due? And then I have like that list of, in my Excel sheet, of when they're all due, and I copy it into this paper version every month, so that, again, if a payday is the 7th, that could change. Sometimes it could be the 1st, sometimes it's the 7th. So if my storage comes out on the 3rd, but I'm not getting paid on the 1st, I need to make sure storage is accounted for in the previous week's paycheck. So again, I'll show you online when I go over that Excel file, and it should make more sense. So here's just variable expenses here. Pay, when am I getting paid? What's anticipated? The balance in my 401k and our investments. I'm trying to invest this year. And then this Amazon only. So Amazon only, I try to make this just purely home-based expenses and what's needed. So I have here budget team because my husband and I were slowly trying to get to a place where his salary, he's an entrepreneur, but where his salary can cover all of our bills, and my salary can just be like pure savings. And so right now my salary is high, most of it's going towards debt and savings, and he'll buy like all the food and stuff like that. But again, it's all our money. It's just what is the easiest in the moment for who puts what money where. Because let's be honest, we're coming out of 2020, but we want to do whatever's easiest. Am I right? We don't need all that extra work. But we have a really good system going on. And so then that's it. So that's the rest of the month. Every month looks like that. I revised this setup from what didn't work last year. I do. I wish I filmed it, but I don't know. I didn't think about filming my setups back then. There was just so much going on, taking care of my mom, everything my mom needs, our job, trying to take care of myself at the same time. I just didn't think to do that. So that is the setup, a bit more in depth for this finance planner. I love it. This mint green Filofax is just amazing. It's beautiful. It's sturdy. It holds a lot. In the back, I didn't show it, but like back here is a credit card holder. So I put the credit cards that are commonly used. I don't really carry too many in my wallet. like store specific ones, those are all in here because I have to go in here to get it, buy something. So, you know, that may have been planned. So that is the flip through of this planner. I really do hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm gonna do my best to now cut this video and then go into the overview of the Excel document that I use in conjunction with this planner, and the fact that like where you can find it and how it's best to use it. If you have any questions, please write them below. It has taken me a long time to come up with a system and a budget that works for me. I am more than happy to help you because I have been I've been through a lot financially, that I feel like I've been through it and come out of it, and I am happy to give any advice. I'm not like an accountant, but there's something to be said about real life experiences and what's worked for me. So thank you all for watching this flip. We're going to go ahead and cut into the Excel sheet. So hang tight, guys. All right, so we're back and we're in the Excel sheet that I referenced, and I set it up for 2022 based on a bi-weekly pay period, so every 2 weeks. Now, this is not my personal sheet. I went in and I just set like baseline numbers. Some of these rows it may not apply to you. Some of the rows, like, you just say super way off, change the numbers. Totally fine. Do whatever suits your needs. So the intention is for you, all you would really need to do, if you want the intention behind it, is to set your projected budget, because you can see up here, if you're not super familiar with Excel, I'll help a little bit in what you see. If you're a whiz in Excel, just tune out when I'm explaining this. Sorry, I just kicked the stand. So here, you enter the budget, fill in the budget based on what you need, and then enter in what your bills are and what your pay is for that week. So you enter your pay, you enter all your bills, and then this already totals. If I see the bills total, you'll see it counts for all of the bills that you have listed here. Now, if you add inserted rows, it won't impact you. So you can still, it'll then just calculate from that top down. And so you'll see the total is based on the sum. I put a random number in for savings. If you can put $20 in, or $5 or $0 that week, whatever you need to do, but that's a manual entry. And then leftover, I did your pay period, so your paycheck minus your bills, minus went towards saving, and then here you have money left over. Now, sometimes what I do is I say, okay, if I have that much left over after my bills, then I know I can put 800 in here, and that will change. Let me see, 800, right? And then this calculates, which is the average savings of all of these rows. This calculates for average leftover over the rows. And the $0 budget is just make every single dollar you make go somewhere and give it a purpose. So that leftover is really there for you, because just so that you know what you are able to do. So for me personally, I have this, I mentioned in the pocket that I have this thing filled out for all of 22, just projected already. Now, is it going to be 100% accurate? Probably not. I can pretty much guarantee it won't be, but it's nice to have a target. And if you currently have a budget, you can put those numbers in here. So maybe it's an individual fixed expense, maybe it's a debt. How much do you want to go towards debt that year? Invest, how much do you want saved? And then you can see the same thing is down here. So I put in things that may be applicable. So maybe it's a 401k for you, maybe you have a student loan, maybe you have another type of loan, and then these are other fixed expenses. For me, what I did, as you saw that month by month overview of the cards that I use, I had each of these rows was a card for me. And I know what is my maximum spend on each of those cards per month. And then it shows me what the total is for the year in this grid, because you can see the sum is all of those totals. But then to the left of that, it's just a number that you enter. So you can enter your budget, and based on your projections, you can see whether you're over or under and where you may need to make some adjustments. This total is the yearly sum based on what you entered in your sheet. This is the sum based off of what you entered in the projections. So even you get a high level overview of, let's just Control-Z that real quick. You can see the difference between your sum versus your budget. I also added in yearly expenses. So just record them as they come up. What do you need to add? Maybe you notice something popped up on your debit or your credit card and you realize I should probably track that because I want to be prepared for this going to the new year or next year. Write it down, and you can write it down in a specific section. I added this in a separate view because I realized throwing yearly expenses in with this was just overwhelming for me, and I would lose it. So part of what I did was, let me see if you can see it. There we go. Scroll down. So the total savings, that again is based on what you add in here. So go across every month and what is your target for savings for the year. It tallies it up for you. It tallies whatever you entered here. Your leftover is same, whatever is calculated based on your paycheck minus your bills minus what's in your savings. So for me, I say, okay, I have $3,300 left over. What does that go to? The way this is calculated is I call it potential savings total, meaning what did I intentionally save, what is left over that could be saved, whether it goes to 401k, a savings account, wherever you put it. But that has a calculation all on its own, and that certainly helps me kind of stay motivated and stay on track, is to see what's the potential, like what am I able to do this year. And if I know what I can achieve, it's a lot easier to kind of stay the course. So up here, this is target budget. That is these numbers that you enter in per category. So all of these categories, it's just those numbers added together. It's this bills pay, this bill pay, plus this savings. So if you're a $0 budget, maybe you make $26,000 a year, I can make all of these bill payments, I can make all of these bill payments, and I can save $15,000 this year. So based on whatever you're entering, you can do that relatively easily if you know what your target budget is. And maybe you put your number in here that this is what I want to hit, this is all I have to work with, this is my net income. So just know that as you're entering all the numbers or you're setting projections, maybe this is a great time to set projections for the new year. Do it. Just set it up and say you make $35,000 and you say, okay, my target budget between savings and all my bills is 26. I'm doing great. I have an extra 10,000 I can put in my 401k. So you can retire. Again, if you don't have a 401k, there's other options, but again, I'm not a financial planner. I've just been there. So I have it broken down by past, present, future. It made me feel good just because say this much has gone towards debt, this is what I'm saving in a regular savings account, and this is what I'm saving for my future in my 401k in general. So, and then it's the total between all of these. So that's cool. That's how I use this file. If you decide to get it and just play around with it and try and experiment with a budget, go for it. You know, it helped me a lot. It really helps me stay on target. I am in it every payday, if not every day or every other day. But the whole month is there for you. You can remove and add rows as needed. You can move rows up and down. You can play around with some of the numbers and the projections to see what is possible. And again, for me, if you know what's possible and what's potential, it's so much easier to stay motivated. And I really want to help folks financially so that you can learn from my mistakes. And who knows, maybe it really will help you. I mean, I remember saying I had no idea how to budget. There was a time I had no idea how to budget. I was clueless to what I was spending, and you know, it bit me. But I learned, and over the last like 10 years or so, I've come a really, really long way. And this has been refined over the years. And I figured, you know what, this has helped me so much, and it's now in a place where it's helping me at an optimum level. I'll share it with all of you. And if you think it's, worthwhile and you think it would help you, share this video with a friend. Sometimes if you have a buddy in budgeting or a buddy in savings, you know, trying to save together, or you're learning together, that's equally as motivating. So that's the file, folks. If you have any questions on this system as a whole, please do leave your comments below. I am super happy to help you. If you're totally confused and you're not sure where to start, send me an email. It's thepetuniarose@gmail.com. It's linked in YouTube. I'd be happy to help you work through it and just share some advice that I have, or what I feel works best. You know, I want to see all of you be successful. I feel like I'm on a good path now, and it's highly linked to this document. I mean, if it's written down, I'll do it. So I hope this helps. Again, thank you for tuning in. I know this is a long video. Your time is very valuable, and I understand. So thank you for sharing it with me. And until next time, I will talk to you soon. Bye.